Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for dropping on by. What I have here is a Fender tag. You might already know that. And you might also know that I pulled this off of my 66 Valiant. Wanted to clean it up and kind of put it away for safekeeping while I worked on the car. Hopefully, I always know where this thing is. I'll have to make a mental note. I don't want to be a statistic. I lost my Fender tag when I took it off for safekeeping. The purpose here of this video is to do a quick little look at the tag and see what this Valiant, may have officially started life at. Looking at this tag, we have 3 rows basically where we'll find information. The first row, the lowercase alphabet codes, will have options in there such as a console, maybe bucket seats, armrests. But you see my first row is blank. This is a very low option car apparently. So we're going to move on down to the middle row, the uppercase alphabet codes. I did take a little paint marker and try to paint the raised portion of all the lettering and numbers and such, hoping to make that a little bit more visible. I will be dropping this in a de-rusting solution and hoping to clean it up a little bit. You see a couple of things marked here. From the start, A, B, and C, there's a 1, 1, 5. So the first two, A and B, are combined. We see 1, 1. The code for that is the 170 cubic inch slant 6. So several codes for this car. We could have a 225, I believe, was an option, as well as a 273, the 2-barrel or the 4-barrel version. The rest of this row is blank. Though what is curious to me, and I don't know if the factory did this, but you see under the QR area there is basically a punch, it looks like. Looks like a P or a key of sorts. I couldn't find any information on that. If you know anything about that, or actually this punch as well, looks to be an R. If you know anything about that, please leave that in the comments below. I'm definitely curious. That said, let's move on to the third row. The SO number on the far left side. This is an indicator of the birth date of the car. So let's say you have an A under the first digit there. A indicates October, B indicates November, C indicates December, and if there's a number, we have 1 for January, 2 for February, so on and so forth. And this is probably the coolest thing about this tag. My build date for my Valiant is 4/26. How cool is that? April the 26th was the day this car was born in 1966. I will be celebrating my car's birthday from here on out. I'll put it in my calendar. Yay! Alright. The number is a shipping order number, so not really too concerned about that. Let's move right on to body, BDY there. This is an indicator of what the car was. So VL21 indicates Valiant 100 two-door sedan. Moving on to the next set of numbers under TRM for trim. This is the interior color. This was a little bit difficult to read. I was able to flip the tag over and decide that we have under trim L4B. And this is an indicator of blue vinyl, which I do believe the front seat, I believe, was still original. The back seat, somebody had to have recovered that in the past in some random crap. So now moving on to paint. The PAI is the first indicator together. 3 digits will be stamped there. In this case, we have CC1, which is an indicator for light blue. The N, if you have an N stamping under N on your car, that means the car was ordered with a stripe. If it's blank or stamped 8, that means no stripe. Under T of paint, this is basically an indicator for upper inner door paint. I have D stamped under T, which equals medium blue. So we do surmise that my Valiant was a pretty basic automobile, a base model car even. But now we know the birth date, and that was the important detail, I think. That said, guys, I have a couple of other tags I wanted to show you. A couple of cars I used to own I think you'll find interesting. One, a 66 model car, and then I'll show you a 65 as well to show you the differences between the tags. So here's our 66 model automobile. We'll start back at the top, the lowercase alphabet. We have something stamped on this row. That's pretty cool. So the first stamping we see under the B is a 4, which indicates bucket seats. Moving down the alphabet to U, we have a stamping of 1. This indicates a sold car, basically a special order. Moving on down to the uppercase alphabet, kind of a little bit crusty under the first portion of the row there, but under AB, I've determined that we have 3-2, which indicates 273 V8 4-barrel. Under C, we have the number 5 stamped. This indicates automatic transmission. If this was a manual, the code would be 1 for 3-speed and 3 for 4-speed. D, we have 9, which equals front disc brakes. And under F, we have 7. And this is the cool one for me, guys. 7 indicates Formula S. So this was a really cool car. Moving on down the alphabet, the letter R. Stamped 1 equals AM radio, yay. Over to T, 7 equals tachometer. The Y is also stamped a number 7. This is the one that I have not yet been able to figure out. So if you know what the 7 under Y equals, I would love to hear it. Anyway, let's move on down to the bottom row. We have the SO number, also known as the shipping order number. We have the birth date of the car. We've already talked about that. C in this case equals December. And the 07 would be the date, the actual day indicator, so December 7th. And since this is a 66 model car, we can surmise that this was manufactured December 7th of 1965. Moving over to the body, remember the indicator of the actual car, which model line. BP29 in this case is Barracuda. Over to trim, P4B is blue vinyl. Our paint code DD1 indicates a light blue metallic. And then again, N is a stripe. There's no stripe on this car, so no stamping there. And under T, the best I can tell, that is an E, which equals dark blue. This was a really cool car in light blue metallic, a bucket seat car, a Formula S. It did have the 273, V8, the 4-barrel version, the Commando, and it's a car on my list of, I don't know why I sold it. I do know why. I mean, it's always down to I have too many projects. But this car was actually restored not long after I sold it. The guy did a fantastic job. I saw it at a car show. In the meantime, let's move on to one more tag. I have a tag from a 65 model automobile. The tags in 65 were slightly different. So the main difference in the 65 to 66 tag was the top row. In this case, we have numbers instead of letters. So we do have a couple of stampings on this first row. First stamping under number 3, the stamping of 9. That indicates variable speed wipers with washer. And then down to number 8, stamped 5, which is an indicator of stone shields. Moving on to the alphabet codes. A, B, again, are a combination. So you take the entire number 3, 1, put it together. That's an indicator of 273 V8 4-barrel. Moving on to D, this has the stamping of 3, which indicates 4-speed. E stamped 5, which indicates heater with defroster. Really good option here in Utah. Moving down to V, where we find our next stamp. V is stamped 3, which is an indicator for backup lights. And Z, we see a 2, which indicates front bucket seats and console. Moving on to the third row, again the SO number. First 3 digits are we have A23. And A, if you recall, is an October build date. So this car was likely built on the 23rd of October. A little bit of an early production run. Let's move down to BDY for body. Let's find out exactly what kind of a car we're looking at here. In 65, these letters were separate. So we're going to start with B. The L indicates dark V8. D, we see a 4, which is a premium. And Y, 2, means 2-door hardtop. So already this is a pretty cool car. Let's move down to trim. So under T, we have P, which indicates premium front bucket seat. R, a 4, we see vinyl bucket seat. And under M, we show an X, which indicates black. Moving to paint, P indicates the upper body and roof color, A indicates the body color, and the I indicates the paint style. So under the P and the A, we see Bs. So there's a double B there. This is black. So this was a black on black car. The I indicates the style, so mono. The N is an indicator of a side sweep color. This is blank in this case, so nothing like that. T is the upper door frame, the molding insert color. And best I can tell on this tag, that also says B, so black again. This was a really cool car, and it is unfortunate that it was as rusty as it was. And I ended up selling this one too. Another one I wish I could have kept. It had some serious front frame issues. Knowing now, you know, what I do, I probably would keep this car and give it a whirl, just based on the pedigree of the car. So this car was a GT, and I think that was indicated by the premium. A Dart GT 4-speed V8, but a very cool car nonetheless. This is a quick trip, just some comparison of some Fender tags. Hopefully you learned a little bit. There are plenty of sites on the internet that can help you decode your own tags. I'll link the one that I used. I'll get you a couple of links, put them in the description below. I was curious because I had the Valiant tag. I had photographs of some of those other cars I used to own, and used to own is the unfortunate part of that. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll get back to work on the Valiant and hopefully the Charger pretty soon. I appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one.